Boom! What's going on, aviators? Welcome back to the AV8R Podcast. Now, I say welcome back because obviously we've had a very long hiatus of content. So I just want to give you a quick update of where we've been. So after Black Friday, which was our most successful release in company history, thank you guys for that, by the way. We were swamped with orders, and I bit off a little more than I could chew. So I was stuck doing a lot of fulfillment here in the workshop, and I didn't have a lot of time to focus on content. And ultimately, that made me a little sad because, I had to take away from giving value, and I had to, go back to working here in the workshop. And while I love working in the workshop, I wanted to be focused on content more than order fulfillment because ultimately giving content and giving value is one of the core values of this brand.
So that is why we want to announce the comeback of the AV8R Podcast Season 2.
Yay!
So, unlike Season 1, we will be uploading the AV8R Podcast episodes on a bi-weekly basis. However, we will try to have other bits of video and content in between the episodes so you never get bored. But first, we'd like to get back into the swing of content creation.
So going into one of the first topics of this episode of the AV8R Podcast, I wanted to talk briefly about the history of AV figures, where it started and where it's going now. So when I started AV figures, it started back in 2018. I had attended Tai Lopez's mentor conference on January 20th of 2018. It was like a Saturday or something, and I was like, I'm just checking it out because my sister wanted me to go. And then when I went there, I learned more actual practical value there than I had learned in my entire 2 years being at college. So I was like, you know what? I couldn't see the world the same anymore. Now, it's not to say that I'm anti-college or anything like that, but I couldn't sit still at my desk in school knowing that there was so much value out there, and so much potential. So, the next day I dropped out of college and I spent a couple of weeks brainstorming, okay, how am I going to do this? What am I going to do? How am I going to create my own business and then, do my own thing and make my mark on the world? And, I had already had such a passion and a hobby for this custom Lego community, and it grew into AV figures that we know today. I initially, in my first business plan was to just decal some figures, sell to collectors, and then use the money from that to get a UV printer or to outsource my UV printing to get printed figures, then to save up and buy my own UV printer, and then save up and get my plastic injected helmets, and then save up and get pad printed helmets, and essentially be kind of like Clone Army Customs in that sense, but also offering decals. And to a certain extent, we've been following that business model where where we've been using each release to fuel the next one, and then on and on and on. But then, as this company has developed, it's grown. It's not just selling decals and selling figures. We're also selling custom sets, and that wasn't part of the original plan. We also have this podcast, which was not part of the original plan. We have all these team members. We have this sub community of aviators and decalers, and that was not originally part of the plan. But it's so cool because this business has grown in so many different directions that it's like I can't just pick and choose one. So where we're heading right now is that we're finally approaching the tail end of that initial business plan that I made. But we're also going to deep dive into how can we give more value to the community moving forward. Instead of just putting out products out there, what can we do for you guys? And that's what I'm really excited about, and that's the direction that the company is going to be going very soon. So, with that said, February 5th was when I launched my website back in 2018. It's come 2 years since the launch of that business, and now it's February 5th of 2020. And now we're going to be having our very first AV day. So other companies have, like Eclipse Graphics and the Minifico, have their own company days, and this is our very first AV day. Every year this is going to happen. We're going to have new releases, and this year in particular, we're going to have 2 new custom sets, 2. And we haven't done sets in a while, so we're very excited to bring that back. We're also going to have new decals, new cloth, new printed figures, new casts and prototypes, new merchandise, new shirts, and this brand new coffee mug. So you're going to get something like that for all you coffee addicts like myself. And we're also going to have long-awaited restocks for printed figures and resin casts.
So, we'll be quite literally aviating now, since we'll be releasing the Phase 1 and Phase 2 pilot decals, which have been long waited for quite a lot of you in the past, and we'll also be releasing the helmets. We'll actually be the first in the market to sell the screen-accurate Phase 1 pilot helmets. We've actually been leaking photos and info on our Discord channel about AV Day for quite a long time. So if you're not on our server, you're definitely missing out on some incredible content. In fact, the invitation link for our server is just in the description down below.
So in addition to all the products that I had already mentioned, we're also going to be introducing AV Elite, which is a brand new, our very first subscription service that the company has ever provided to the community. Similar to Brickmania's Brickmania Elite, AV Elite will offer you 10% off all purchases automatically applied at checkout. Brickmania's Elite had a $50 price point. Ours is just under that at $47, but that is where the similarities end. In addition to your AV Elite subscription, you will also receive an AV Elite membership card. And this will be, everyone will have one of these cards, and there's only going to be 100 AV Elite passes made for our very first year. This card can also be shown to us at events for 10% off purchases in person. In addition to that, 2 decal sets of an exclusive AV Elite figure will be distributed to all AV Elite memberships.
So if you spend at least $500 on AV figures each year, it pays itself off quite literally. The exclusive decals are very limited and aren't produced outside of the pass.
But wait, there's more. In addition to the base membership of AV Elite, we also have a second tier called AV Elite Plus. That one's at a $97 price point and includes all the tier 1 benefits plus a printed version of that AV Elite figure with a casted helmet and helmet decals. It'll also grant you access to the pre-orders channel, which allows customers to pre-order one of each quantity of new items prior to the public release date.
That means only 10 people per year will have this exclusive figures, whose design changes out every year, and will also have access to pre-orders.
So we don't want to reveal too much of the juicy stuff because AV Elite is going to be launching tomorrow, February 5th. So I invite you and I urge you to join our Discord server to keep up to date with those updates and save the date. Remember, February 5th, AV Day. Can't wait to see you guys there. Always remember, never settle. Always go above and beyond. Catch you later, aviators.